This week, the United States Treasury Department announced that it would impose sanctions against the Rwandan Minister of State for Regional Integration, James Kabarebe. The latest developments come as M23 rebels intensify their war against the DRC's armed forces, capturing the city of Goma. Now, to make sense of these developments, I'm joined by international relations expert Ayesha Kajee. Ayesha, good to speak to you. Now, what are the primary reasons behind the United States decision to sanction Rwandan Minister James Kabarebe?
Well, Hugo, firstly, there is and has been over the last 2 years undiluted support from Rwanda's military and Rwanda's government more generally for the M23 rebel group in Eastern Congo. And we have seen over that time that about 4,000 Rwandese soldiers are currently in that Eastern Congo region in both the North Kivu and South Kivu regions. Those Rwandese army forces have been assisting the M23 rebels with training, with arms, equipment, etc., that can be coming from nowhere else but Rwanda. And so Rwanda has already violated, according to a UN expert report published first in June last year and then a further report published in December last year, Rwanda has been violating the territorial sovereignty of the DRC. You know, you've just been talking about the African Union Summit, and UN Secretary General Guterres has made this very clear, that territorial sovereignty needs to be respected. Rwanda has been essentially flouting that requirement of multilateralism for the past 2 years. And this has intensified in the past month since the capture of Goma by the M23, that is the provincial capital of North Kivu, and then subsequently the capture of Bukavu, the capital, the provincial capital of South Kivu provinces. Now, those two key cities, Goma and Bukavu, are key in economic terms to the minerals that are mined in the Eastern DRC, particularly minerals such as, among others, among gold, uranium, tin, etc., particularly minerals such as coltan, cobalt, and tantalum, which are all used in cell phone manufacture and the manufacture of batteries for electric vehicles. So you can imagine very lucrative minerals, all of them, and many of them in high demand by multilateral corporations, some of whose governments have actually also been implicated in the ongoing conflict in the DRC. So the sanction of the Rwandese minister, and he's ironically the Minister of State for Regional Integration, is actually entirely appropriate in my view, given that he is a former army general who has been responsible not for regional integration, but actually for regional breakdown in helping to foment this conflict in the Eastern DRC. Now, Rwanda has hit back and said it's unfair, etc., etc. They said it's a matter of their national security. What I would contend is that it's not so much a matter of Rwanda's national security. That may have been the case immediately post-1994, post the genocide in Rwanda. But recently, Rwanda has been using that as an excuse to expand its own economic interests,
well, Ayesha,
at the expense of the lives and livelihoods of the people of the Eastern Congo.
Ayesha, one would wonder why sanctions are being imposed on the office or on the Minister of State for Regional Integration, James Kabarebe, and not on the nation of Rwanda. I'd imagine that he works for the Rwandan government and is not a law unto himself, or is he?
To some extent, he is. He has certainly been implicated as an army general, as a former army general. He has certainly been implicated directly by name in the UN experts report, that he has been responsible at least for the training of M23 soldiers and also for supplying arms and other military hardware to the M23 rebels. So yes, he is directly and personally implicated. But as you've pointed out, there needs to be a sanction of the government that is supporting that conflict